Hey everyone, welcome to my channel.
Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Hands in the stove, how the faucet's running and I keep looking at you.
Hello and welcome back to the Pretty Candid Podcast. I am your host, Marissa H. Welcome back. Please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We definitely appreciate your support here at the pod. And let's go ahead and get into it, today's episode. As you can see, I'm solo dolo. I'm all by myself, but we still gonna rock out and have a good time today. So let's go ahead and get into our candid cocktail for today. So in my Stanley Cup, y'all, I went old school today like an auntie. I have bourbon. I have bourbon, Sprite, and a splash of cranberry juice in here today. And I'm not going to lie, y'all, it's good. It hit the spot. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell y'all that I drank a little bit on the way over here, but I did. But it was good. I wasn't drinking and driving, so that's what mattered, right? Y'all like that? So remember I told y'all, bourbon, light ice, Sprite, and a splash of cranberry juice. Very good. It's something like that. I did something like that. Just know that's those were the elements. Okay. So for today's episode, I wanted to talk about. I never talk about trending topics with y'all, and I ran across something that I thought was rather interesting. So let's get into that. As some of y'all may know, I guess we'll call her famous, TikToker Ekane dropped a video in response to a certain woman. Not sure who she was, but in her video, she made the statement that basically she would always reach better opportunities, be more successful, just based off of her skin color because she's a light-skinned black woman. And because the other lady was dark-skinned, that she just, basically she can't fuck with her. That's really what she said. Now, here's the thing that I think is funny. If you follow Ekane, you know that she's very much just raw and unfiltered, right? She talks a lot about crazy shit, like who go on TikTok and talk about BV? That's wild. Like, and then like you have like a lot of crazy antics with your child's father, and you record it. But I will say she did, find a way to make income, however that may go, right? Now here's the thing. I feel like this is colorism, right? And I feel like there's a lot of outrage behind the fact that Ekane did that and she said those things. However, why are y'all surprised? That's really what I'd like to know. Like, why would you be surprised that somebody like that, of that caliber, that... Should I call her a bum? I ain't gonna call her a bum. But y'all know she's low-key not shit. She just is funny and she's entertaining and she does stuff that a lot of people would not do. So to compare herself as to like reaching great heights, I don't really know about that, but I feel like the outrage for it is kind of weird, just for the simple fact that I feel like we know a lot of people like Ekane that say things like that are low-key colorists, and we overlook it just based off the fact that, oh, that's my friend, or we're family. And I feel like it's still a lot of colorism, like even with it being 2024, it's a lot of colorism still in the black community. Like, we do this whole pit of skin color, like you're light skin, you're brown. We all black. We get pulled over, we're all black. So that's always thrown me off. I don't understand the whole skin tone talk, and why that even matters, and why you would feel like you're better than because you are light skinned. Now, is light skin privilege a thing? Yes. Is colorism still a thing? Yes. Like that's something that happens actively, and I think we come across it more than what we realize, or that we would like to let on that we realize, because I be realizing it. But I feel like in the media, so for an example, there's another interview with Mona Leo that she did with Megan James from Basketball Wives. And she mentioned that, do you believe in colorism, and do you feel like you kind of are steps behind because you are a darker skinned woman? And Mona Leo basically said, definitely, no shade to any of the light skinned rappers, but yeah, if you are of lighter skin and you are a black woman, you have more opportunities. You have a better chance at excelling at a faster rate than a dark-skinned woman. I feel like that's absolutely correct. Honestly, if you're closer to white passing, then like I feel like that's the obvious. So I was very confused with everybody being very outraged with Ekane, and she's just a menace on the internet. She goes on rages and she's funny at times, but all in all, like I really need us to kind of come to the fact that people every day that we know do that type of colorist shit, and so like don't be outraged about that, but you don't want to call out your brother. Don't be outraged about that, but you don't want to call out your cousin. Like, you be transparent all the way around. We still deal with colorism. Just, I really need us to come to a agreement that color doesn't define anybody. And I feel like this because I haven't necessarily seen um, a lot of different other people discuss that and to make it a thing to where they're like pitting each other against each other. That's weird as fuck over a skin color. But again, like I said, if we were all in that goddamn field, we all black. Like at the end of the day, anybody that sees us, whether it be light skin, red bone, brown, dark, mocha, whatever, we're all black. So she ignorant, and that's weird. And y'all need to quit acting like colorism is not a thing. I'm actually gonna touch back on this, probably another episode. I'm not gonna go too deep because I could really go on and on. But no, I definitely thought that was fucking crazy. Cause why be surprised at the obvious? Like, come on now, whatever. So past that though, the next topic I really want to hone in on though, because I had this conversation with a friend and we kind of were like on a debate about it. Um, Matching energy is not the flex that y'all think it is. I see a lot of like different posts or I hear people bring it up like I'm just matching energy and this, that, and the third. So then what do you do when your energy gets depleted and now you're like mad as fuck all the time and you're irritated all the time and now you're being moody. So now you're reacting to people maybe in ways that you ordinarily wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the matching the energy, it's one thing to notice somebody's energy, you know, notice that somebody isn't treating you well, they're not treating themselves well, whatever, the situation is not well for you, and you decide to depart. I feel like that's always the better option. But to have a flex and think like, oh, you want to be weird? I'm gonna be weird too. You don't want to speak? I'm not gonna speak either. You don't want to like match your energy for what? You keep doing that, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be worse off than what you started with. Just depart your like, leave it be, leave it be. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of times, whenever like people get into that mode where they feel like they gotta match energy, it's something else deep rooted into that. So you're reacting to whatever the case is, and you feel the need to get your lick back, but not necessarily physically get your lick back. So now you're matching energies, and like I said, it take a lot of energy out of you. I used to be one of those people very much like, oh, I'm gonna get my lick back. I got you. I'm gonna do it. Whatever. Or if I feel some type of way, okay, I could do that too. But for what? When I literally could have just left it alone. Leave it alone. And don't go too deep into it. Like that's not a flex. I feel like not everybody, but a lot of people get on the defense mode when like the space is weird or like they're having not even an issue or necessarily, but just when their feelings are kind of like maybe not being validated, they feel like they're not being heard, they're not being seen, things are not going as they planned or thought with a person. And then they feel like they gotta match the energy back. And then this is my thing too. So okay, you have a perception, right? Because a lot of people say perception is everything, but I also feel like perception is not always facts, right? So we got person A and person B. So person A is unbothered, living life, going on. But person B seems to feel a way about person A. And instead of actually speaking on that and being a fucking adult and communicating with the skills that you've been given, you decide, oh, I'm going to match the energy. I'm going to be whatever I think they are. But what if they're not even knowing that they're doing it? So then now person A is looking at person B like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's the problem? Why are you being weird? Why are you doing, you know what I'm saying? We need to learn how to communicate better as people. communication, what they say, conversation rule the nation. That's still true. But people just don't like to talk nowadays. It's easier to avoid. It's easier to avoid how you're making somebody else feel and to only hone in on how you feel and be selfish. Because I feel like if you have a connection or a relationship, whether it be platonic or not, to actually sit and go in your mind and be like, oh, I got something for you. Okay, cool. Instead of actually talking that out. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? That shit sound weird. Like it doesn't seem logical. And that's the thing. Like sometimes you can't always be emotional. You have to be a little logical and use your fucking words. Nobody knows how you feel without you actually telling them. Some people feel like, oh, I've been knowing you this long. You should know. You should knew I wasn't gonna like that. You should have known. I shouldn't have to say anything. But at the end of the day, at least give people the benefit of the doubt and speak up. Say what you need. Say what it is that's wrong. Give people the opportunity to actually fix what you feel like is bothering you, or come to a conclusion that hey, that wasn't even that. It wasn't even bad like I thought. I was over here tripping. Damn, I be tripping. Like come to that realization too. It be us sometimes. You're the problem sometimes. That's okay, cause life is like what the fuck? Like just really chill. But the whole matching the energies thing, that's not gonna get y'all anywhere. I really feel like I'm gonna quit saying y'all because I know it sounds like I be attacking y'all. People, I need people to just fucking relax, communicate, say what it is. Don't just come up with something in your mind and I'm gonna match that energy. I got something for you. That's some low key demonic shit. Like it is. That's kind of like damn, you want to be mad? Oh, like no, don't do that. So, us as people, let's do better with actually saying what the fuck we're thinking or how we feel. And if it doesn't get reciprocated or it doesn't get heard and it land on deaf ears, okay, that's one thing. Depart yourself. But the whole matching energies, you're gonna have yourself down bad, baby. Don't do that. Mm-mm. We are better. Don't do that. So that's what I wanted to say because I feel like that's been like a real big thing lately. People not communicating and we can't have that. So, and we halfway through the year. Like, come on now, we gotta get our habits together. So, but the next topic that I wanted to talk about is relationship hoppers. When I say relationship hopper, this is what I mean. So you have case in point, guy and a girl, guy and a guy, girl and a girl, however it may go. They're together and things don't work out, you know. And instead of you kind of taking time to self, maybe like reflecting on what happened, not necessarily taking full blame, but just seeing where you went wrong, seeing how did we get to this point? Why didn't it work out, you know? And kind of like being on some self love, kind of like I'm gonna pour into me more now that I have more ample time and I don't have that person anymore. So that way, the next time that I come across a great person or a better person, that I know what I'm doing and I know how to, you know, instead of doing that, you go get with somebody else. And then that shit don't work out. And then again, you're not taking any time to be like, what? And then you go do it again. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a repetitive cycle. So the problem I believe with a relationship hopper, because some people feel like, oh, I don't need to heal. I don't need to do this and do that. Number one, healing is a forever journey. So you're not just gonna automatically heal and then, oh, I could go. That's not how that works. It's a forever thing. You have to continuously work on yourself, right? Right. However, I think the part that where people go wrong is that what is that saying? Like to get over somebody, you get under somebody. And that's not how that necessarily works. And I think you do yourself no justice by taking time to kind of, like I said, reflect and see what am I doing? What did they do? So you can recognize certain things in your next relationship. When you don't take that time to really self-evaluate, be with self, and just focus on you for a little bit, you do yourself no justice, and you do the person coming up next no justice, right? So then, okay, like I said, you get to the next person, you thinking everything is peaches and cream, But now you starting to get triggered by certain stuff. Now you seeing certain stuff that came up in the last relationship, right? So now you're acting a certain way. Now that person's not feeling it. So boom, another breakup, right? So now, like, shit, you got 10 breakups up under that belt, right? And you ain't even really just giving a fuck. You just out here doing stuff, damaging people also. I think that's another aspect of it that people don't consider. So I feel like a lot of times, I feel like I say this a lot in the dating world. I feel like there's a lot of good people, but those good people turned into jaded people, right? So exactly what I said. So like I said, just for example, we gonna say Rick. Rick then left Sylvia, but then he didn't take time to figure out where him and Sylvia done went wrong, right? Right? So now he done met Sarah. And Sarah's awesome. Sarah's great. He done brought her around family, all of that shit, right? Going to the barbecues. It's cool. Now we 5-6 months in, and now you feel like some of the shit Sylvia used to do, Sarah doing. But is it really that Sarah was doing that, or is it that you didn't correct the shit that you were doing with Sylvia and now it's playing out with you and Sarah? You see what I'm saying? Like, just on some, you gotta take time. And I'm not gonna lie, every relationship that you break up into, I want to say it might not always be your fault, but we are not perfect people and we flaw every day, you know? So I'm gonna say, well, a lot of times when people break up, it's amongst the two. I don't think it's just one person all the time. Unless you a cheating asshole, then yeah. But, you know, if not, then, you know, it might have just been on some mutual shit. You never know. However, I feel like not taking that time out, like, that's just very detrimental to your dating life and your love life and how you connect with people. Because, damn, if you can't even sit out by yourself a little bit, are you scared to be alone? Do you have a fear of being alone? Do you feel like you'll die alone? Like, that's the type of shit you need to sit with yourself and journal about, and you're not doing that. And then you coming across good people, right? Turning them into jaded people. And then those jaded people are meeting. It's a fucking horrible cycle. And what I just said is why the dating pool has piss in it. I ain't gonna lie, I caught a good one, so I ain't tripping. But you know, for the general, you know, like that's exactly why people are not taking time to really focus on what they need to focus on, elevating themselves and sitting with themselves and being accountable. Let's say that together. Accountable. Like, accountability for our generation is it's non-existent. Like, everybody feels like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. You might have. And what I say earlier, that's okay. We're in life. This shit don't got no book. You don't know what you're doing, but you got to be accountable for going from relationship to relationship and not really understanding where you're at as a person. So as, you know, with yourself. And that shit sucks. So I that's another thing. Like, I just, do y'all hear how I am sighing? Y'all are stressing me out. Like, I really want that not to be a thing. And then here go the thing too, when y'all relationship hop that I don't like, because I just had to get on somebody's ass about this, and I know you watching and I don't give a damn. I said what I said. Stop relationship hopping, but then, oh, they not shit. What? How are they not shit? Because you not taking time to relax. You didn't put a pause in your you know, like, have you ever heard somebody be like, oh, I'm taking a break from dating? And what do people say? Like, oh, you know, that's good for you. Y'all not doing that. Some of y'all are not doing that. Some of y'all are literally running through them. Like, y'all be giving out 90-day trials and shit. Like, that's not okay. That is not okay. You're hurting people. You're hurting yourself. And, like, you can't say people ain't shit when you keep running through people. You ain't even got time to see. For real. Because you can't even see your fucking self. I ain't trying to cuss y'all out. I'm just saying. Like, just do better. You can be better, do better. Take your time. Like, yeah, life is short, but also, you got time. Like, don't fucking relax, okay? Because that's going to always be a problem for you. And it's going to just, we can't keep doing, what was I about to say? We can't keep doing, like, repetitive cycles like that. We got to break it. I feel like the generation I am, am I a millennial? I was born in 92. Figure it out. I can't remember right now. But I feel like for my generation and down, like, shit's looking bad. Shit is looking bad. And like I said, I think a lot of it all, even though it's like different things, I feel like a lot of it all is um because we're not sitting with ourselves. And we need to do that. Like whatever your journey is, however it goes, just just take your damn time. Please. Okay. Okay. So the next topic I really I'm giving it to y'all today, but it is what it is. So I had a conversation last month, and it's really been on my heart about boundaries. And within the conversation, this particular person is like, they really don't understand boundaries. Like, and they straight up told me like, hey, I didn't grow up with having to respect certain things or knowing what a boundary was. So I don't understand that shit now in my adult life. And I feel like it's more or less people giving me pushback more than anything else. And so I was like, how is somebody telling you this is how they want to be treated, or this is what it is with them, and like please respect that? Why is that like so offensive to you? And so that's what I want to talk about. People are okay with boundaries, right? Until you have a boundary put up against them. Then it's an issue, right? And I think a lot of it, first of all, claps for the people who are putting up boundaries and being healthy, having healthy communications, trying to do it the right way, right? Kudos for you. I feel like though, when you do set a boundary, especially like when it comes to like friends and family, it can be taken as though you're being selfish, or you're being standoffish, or you don't want to have nothing to do with them, or you just finding a flaw in them. And it's not that. Like I think boundaries are necessary. I think boundaries are necessary with everything. Like shit, I got boundaries set up with my kid, just so we always have a healthy line of communication in our relationship. And I feel like that's what's gonna make for her, I feel like that's what's gonna make our relationship always flourish continuously as she gets older, because we have those boundaries set in place, right? So that's with a kid, right? Okay, cool. But then I have boundaries set up with my family. And if y'all watching this, y'all know I do. It's certain stuff I'm not going for that. And I used to set up boundaries and be nasty with it. Like, I won't lie. I used to set up boundaries and be very nasty. And I think it was making it harder for people to accept it, because I was either very like passive aggressive about it, or just straight up like guerrilla aggressive about it. So, and you gotta find a happy medium, like I'm 32 now, but like a lot of that aggression was when I was like younger, because I wanted people to respect me. And I felt like, yeah, I'm placing these boundaries for a reason, and I shouldn't have to explain that, right? But we working on healthy communication, so it is important in relationships for you to express yourself and let people know, hey, this is my boundary. This is why, Some people feel like you shouldn't, that's really your prerogative. I always do. I'm a big talker, hence this. But I like to have those kind of conversations, just so that way there's no room for gray. Everything is very black and white. There's no room for gray. I'm not one of those girls. I don't like to just leave a lot of room for speculation. Like, no, I said what I said. and that's it, And I respect when my friends have boundaries with me. I got a friend that she dead ass is like, hey, Sunday nights, don't fucking call me. Don't call me. I'm doing something. I don't want to talk. I don't have no desire to talk, and I still love you. Cool. And to me, that's a simple boundary, right? Simple boundary. One of the biggest boundaries that I have is don't talk to me soon. Like when you're upset and you're like furious as fuck, do not talk to me. Like, especially if you mad at me, don't talk to me, because you're going to say a lot of things that either you're not going to mean later. I'm going to take it the wrong way. Things are going to probably escalate, and it's just not going to be a good situation. So that's why I have that boundary set in place. Hey, if I make you upset, if I make you feel away, anything happens, let's talk about it once you calm down. Especially for my friends and family. Like, I love my friends and family, and I treat my friends like family. So my family. I never want to be at odds with anybody. So I feel like, two, that's another reason why I set those boundaries. I just feel like It's very important. It's very healthy. And I think that if somebody is to tell you like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. This is what I'm kind of experiencing with me and you. How, like I said, whether it be romantic, platonic, family, whatever, be open to it. Because I'll say this, it takes a lot to talk to somebody that you love or care about and basically tell them like, hey, I know this has been happening this way, but I kind of need it to go this way so I could be okay with me and you. That should take a lot to say, like, and it's not an easy conversation to have. So definitely please respect people who try their hardest to make sure that, because I feel like when you set a boundary with somebody, ultimately I'm trying to make sure you're comfortable and I'm trying to make sure I'm comfortable so we can bask in the what? Comfortability. Is that a word? I don't know, y'all. Google it. I don't know. But yeah, like don't don't take it so defensively. Don't feel like it's an attack on you. Nobody has a personal attack on you. That's not, no. It's not. Like I said, I always admire people who set up boundaries. Even if they don't straight up tell me, but like it's very evident that it's a boundary, like okay, all right, I won't do that. All right, cool, whatever. Just based off the fact that, like I said, it take a lot, but also that means you care about yourself. I love to see people care about themselves, take care of themselves mentally, emotionally. I love that. And 9 times out of 10, that's why we're in a connection. We're friends, whatever the case is. So don't ever feel like it's an attack on you. Be open to it, even if it's hard to hear, but have that uncomfortable conversation, but don't get defensive. I feel like when people get defensive, that 9 times out of 10 is exactly why it go completely it go completely left. So remember I said that, yo girl. Last thing I want to talk about, because this was something that recently happened here in Austin. Well, technically it was in Round Rock. So there was a Juneteenth festival in Round Rock, Texas, and there was a lot going on. I actually remember seeing the posting for going, and I kept saying like Juneteenth in Round Rock, like I don't know about that. So there was Paul Wall, Lloyd, and I believe there was another artist set to perform there for Juneteenth. Families were there, kids, like everybody. It was a lot of people. And there was an incident where there was a shooting, and 2 women are now dead because of that shooting. A senseless act, right? And I remember looking like at the lady's pictures, and the shit is sad. Like I hate to see anybody pass away, but I especially hate to see people pass like that when it's just so unexpected and it's at the hands of somebody else. Like that shit is not fair to the family. It's traumatizing. And one of the ladies, I believe she has kids 1, 4, and 7. Like, it's just very sad. But the point that I was getting to is that I remember seeing people in the comments saying like some people were saying like, oh, it happened in Round Rock. I'm surprised. Like, I would expect that in Rosewood. That's East Austin for y'all that don't know. I would expect that, like somewhere on East Austin. I wouldn't expect that in Round Rock. And that just goes to say like ghetto don't have no zip code. Crime don't have a zip code. Crazy ass people don't, it's not a specific zip code, right? And like I said, I'm 32, so I've heard that as a kid. I remember being like 10 and 12 and the East Austin having like this bad stigma around it, as though like that's where all the hood shit is at, that's where all the ghetto people are at, that's where like, and for me, I'm like, shit, I'm a kid, we chilling on this side, but I want to say I think that that's the thing too. Like we got to be more aware of that. Anything can happen anywhere at any time, no matter who we with, what we got in our purses, in our trunks, anything can happen at any time. And you need to be aware of that, and make your kids aware of it, make whoever, but be aware of your surroundings. Now I will say, in that particular incident, in that shooting, I don't really think that there could have been an incident that would have prepared anybody for that, right? And it was scary. It's very scary. It's very scary because I now think I did an episode, I think 2 weeks ago, and so now I think we're like at 29 homicides in Austin, Texas now, and it's over something so small. Like half the stuff that people get into it about is not even worth all of the drama, all of the violence. And a lot of times, whenever it is like that, it's the violence leaking onto somebody innocent, an innocent bystander. And I hate that. I hate that for Austin. Well, for Austin, period. For Austin, for Round Rock. Like, even though it's a surrounding city, I still consider that to be part of Austin. But we got to get out the mindset of thinking like certain parts of town is like, ooh, that's rough, and that's this, and that's that. Like, anywhere is rough. I'm pretty sure somewhere in Cedar Park there's a ghetto. there's some hood ass shit going on in Cedar Park. There's some hood ass shit going on in the hills in Westlake. So don't be fooled by zip codes and what people look like in certain sides of town. Rest in peace to those ladies. To anybody that was still injured, that got hurt, I hope that y'all are recovering well. To those that were there involved that had to go through that traumatic experience, I hope that you were taking time to really just be able to breathe and be thankful and grateful that you are here. I'm so sorry that y'all had to go through that. Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad, and I hate that. But be mindful that anything can happen anywhere. It don't matter where you at. So we got a short episode today. That about wraps it up for the Pretty Candid podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, please don't hesitate to follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are now on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. I don't even know if y'all still listen to that still, but we on there. So tell your cousin, mama, granny, neighbor down the street, tell them to listen to the Pretty Candid podcast because we need all the love and support we can get. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time. Okay, cut that, and now I'm finna do the story time.
You focus on me.